My mom has been an alcoholic my whole life. I was 8 years old and I remember I woke up hearing my mom choking on her own vomit, so I propped her up with pillows so that her airway could be cleared, and I'm sure she would have died that night. By the time I was 12, my mother would throw plates and come after me with rakes and shovels. There were many nights where my mom would be in a blackout, rage, drunk, and wake me up hitting me, and she would throw me out of the house. When I was 14, my mom was drunk and tried to drive the car, so I told her, look, I'll go get the booze for you. But unfortunately, I had been drinking as well, and I ended up crashing the car. As my mother's drinking got worse and I got older, I started getting resentful and angry. I started running away, drinking and using hard drugs. While I was in juvenile hall, my mother was evicted from the apartment. My mother was going out of the apartment naked, fighting with neighbors, but instead of taking any responsibility for anything that happened, she blames me for everything.
I lost my everything for you. Did you wrap my car around a tree?
After my mom was evicted from her last apartment, she went straight to the streets. My mom says it's all my fault that she's homeless and that her life has come to this. Logically, I know that she's wrong, but emotionally, it tears me apart. After my mom was homeless, there were many times that I would take her to treatment facilities, but she was abusive to me, and when I would stop going to visit her, she would try and find me. There was a time where I was out on my break outside of the office, and she crept up behind me and ripped my glasses off of my hair and hit me on the back of the head because she wants me to give her a shower and then back to the streets.
You could have helped me a little bit. Throw down a shower or a crust of bread for your mother, since I sacrificed my life for you.
A year ago, I went to help my mom. I had my son with me, and she came running up to the car, screaming obscenities and throwing her hands at the window. And when I looked into my son's face, I saw the terror, and it reminded me of terror that I used to feel. So I vowed not to seek her out anymore. During the time that I stopped looking for my mother, I had a mental breakdown and checked myself into a mental hospital 2 times, and I developed a panic disorder. I could not take care of myself or my family. I have extremely debilitating anxiety. I felt as if I was turning into her. I became extremely worried. I do not want to put my son through the same thing that I went through. I felt like if I could help my mom, that I could break the cycle, but I realized that I could not help her on my own, and I needed help.
Well, Heather, that's hard to watch, right?
Yeah, it is. I'm afraid for my mom. I'm afraid she's gonna die on the streets like this.
She's not made it easy on you.
Not at all, Dr. Phil.
When you were 12, you got involved with drugs and alcohol, right?
That's right.
You said you stopped caring about yourself because nobody else did.
Sure. There were a few things that happened during her blackout rages, and one of them was that she threw me on the streets and I was sexually assaulted. And from that point forward, that was when I decided my well-being obviously does not matter, and when I was doing drugs and alcohol, I felt a sense of relief. So that was my way of coping with it.
And she's blamed you for all of this.
Absolutely. All her downfall, her health, her emotions, her alcoholism, her homelessness, it's all been my fault.
She said, I wish I never had you.
Yeah.
You ruined my life. Said you are a horrible daughter and you're going to turn out just like me.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting parenting strategy.
I think she's wanting me to feel her pain.
Heather says her mother leaves her these nasty voicemails and text messages whenever she can get her hands on a telephone. Take a look.
Hey, Heather, I'm your mother. I lost my everything for you. Okay? So you should have back up and regroup and throw down a shower or a crust of bread for your mother. Since you have wrapped my car around a tree, I sacrificed my life for you, Heather, and I would do it again. I'm on my deathbed, and I would do it again. Could you acknowledge me? You know, you and your self-righteous father, could you acknowledge my existence for once? And I understand that you chose to have a child and you don't feel good and you had a back operation, whatever the You know what? Mama is dying. You know, you don't mind very much that I'm not long for this world. It's not your problem. But hey, Heather, my money's gone. My Social Security check is gone after tomorrow, okay? And I'm back on the streets. My implants have diminished and are going into my body. I am a walking worm. You know what? I'm Medusa.
She says she wants to be free, and you know she has choices. You've given her choices.
Absolutely.
And you could throw down a shower, as she says, so you bring her in your home. It's not just a shower.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. She makes it seem so simple, but if I do that, I'm putting myself and my family in danger because she's so volatile.
I met Valerie when I was 20 years old. 2 years later, we had Heather. She really took to being a mom. She loved it. When Heather was about 2 years old, I went to prison and I didn't get back out until she was about 6 years old. The day I got home, when I saw Valerie, I realized she was completely drunk. The music was blasting. It's 2 in the afternoon, and she had a nightgown on, vacuuming, drunk. I packed what little belongings I had, and I left. Valerie and I never got married, but we always just kept tabs on each other. I try to look for Valerie, almost daily. My wife and I, Samantha, make sure she's still alive and she's not starving to death.
Where were you for a couple weeks? I've been looking for you.
On the other side.
When Valerie calls Peyton for help, she's typically intoxicated, usually is cussing, yelling at him.
Could you acknowledge my existence for once?
Valerie's addiction and alcoholism makes her really volatile. One time we got a call that Valerie had been assaulted.
We rushed over there. Her face was all swollen and bloody.
Valerie was the instigator, and she fell and hit her face on the shopping cart. She asked us not to call the police, and we didn't. It just so happened that the police had seen Valerie and pulled over. Valerie thought that we called the cops on her, so she came back and just tore the mirror off my wife's car and took off with it. I was like, how could she do that? Just moments before my wife gave her the sweater to wear. I think Valerie likes living on the streets because she uses it like a weapon against us. She expects all of us to just feel so sorry for her and bend over backwards to help her, but she only wants help on her terms.
How are you feeling today?
I'm hungry and I need to get a drink.
You need to go to the store?
Yeah.
You need some booze?
Yeah. I have a little sip, but I've been waiting and...
How much do you drink a day?
Well, can I show it?
You can show it.
Okay. 2 or 3 a day.
2 or 3 a day?
Mm-hmm. At least 2.
Okay. Where do you get the money to drink?
Well, I have an income. Well, I know I probably should spend it on alcohol, but I do.
How do you feel physically?
'Cause I have no hair.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. And it's scary.
So how do you feel about getting some help and not living like this anymore?
I want to be free.
So what does that mean? What do you mean you want to be free?
I just want to be free to do what I want to, and then it turns out that
This isn't so free anymore? How long has it been?
years.
Sorry, Mama.
It's been years.
How do you want me to help you? Okay.
Like, if I could just feel a little better about myself, like getting a shower, then maybe I'd feel better.
Are you saying that if to give you a shower that will help you get sober?
It would make me feel loved enough to maybe, try again, But to drop the ball completely and just totally throw me away was really hard on me.
I cannot invite you into my house because because you're a violent drunk and you create.
To take a shower, I could handle it.
I don't want to subject myself to that anymore.
The tough love thing is an excuse to drop the ball.
This is where we don't agree.
I disagree.
You have assaulted me. You've attacked me. You've screamed at me.
You have done that to me.
You've brought chaos into my life.
Then why are you here?
This is my last shot to help you.
You could throw me a scrap of food and help me get a shower somehow, even if it's not in your house.
If I were to take you right now, would you go with me to treatment?
My alcoholism, my disease tells me no, because I am a bottomless drunk, and to be honest, I'll never be ready.
I want to help you. Are you ready to take the first step to meet Dr. Phil?
I get to meet him in person?
Yes.
Yes.
I love you.
When is the first time you remember being really hurt in your life?
My dad left.
Do you remember being hurt when you were 8?
Someone came in, and I woke up and they were inappropriately there. And that's all I have to say about that. But
Did you tell anyone?
I didn't remember till I got sober and I was 22.
Do you blame your family for your problems?
No. I just blame. I feel hurt because I expect them to give me the basic needs to be humane. And they haven't done that. So.
They don't support your lifestyle. They don't believe in what you're doing, so they don't want to help you do it. They don't believe that you should be living on the street as a drunk living in a tent, so they don't want to make that possible for you, so they don't support that.
Yes, sir. Dr. Phil, though, on my worst day drunk, I would never leave my sister on the street.
And why wouldn't you?
Because I love her. She's my sister. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So as a God.
You'd want to do the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
To drop the ball completely with the tough love, I feel bad for the way they've treated me.
But if you turned them away, you would feel godless. You would feel bad about yourself.
I would feel lower than.
So you would take them in so you would feel better about you.
They brought me here to feel better about them.
No doubt about it.
They brought me here to feel better about them.
Absolutely.
Even if I walk away.
Such a show right
Help
now
my
because
girl.
you're talking sideways, but you're really talking to me. So why don't you tell Dr. Phil what you mean about me when you say
about you
that I'm bringing you here? Why don't you say what you mean? Like
I just
that
did.
I'm bringing you here because
did.
I have an ism.
I just
no,
did.
you're saying it in a roundabout way.
I just did.
No, you're not.
I just
you're not.
did.
You're not.
Roll
being
back
honest.
the tape, my girl.
You're saying you would do that even if it hurt them, if it made you feel better.
No, it's not about me. Love is kind, patient. It's all good things. There's nothing tough about it.
So do you think that it's love to empower someone to poison themselves?
No, I'm not trying to be empowered. It's inhumane to drop your family like an animal, less than an animal. You've done a lot worse than I have out there. And I rescued you. I was there to pick you up, okay?
No, you weren't. You were not there to help me
Yes,
or
I was.
pick me up or protect me.
Yes, I
You
was.
didn't do any
Yes,
of that
I was.
for my whole life.
Yes, I was.
Well,
No,
just so you know, I told Heather before you came out that I would do this show whether you came or whether you didn't. But since you are here, I would very much like to help you. I can't conclude this without saying a few things to you. I'm cautiously optimistic that your mother will grab hold and lean into this.
I hope so.
I really hope she does. These folks are dedicated, and if your mother's going to have an opportunity to ramp up, this is a great place to start. Thank you for coming here to share this.
Thank you.
But what I want to say to you is, look what you've created here. You've done more than anyone could expect you to do. You need to give yourself permission to focus on you and your family. You've done what you can for your mother. It's up to her. It's like if you throw her that life preserver and she pushes it away, that's her choice. Be at peace that you've done what you can do. This opportunity opened up. She has a home to go to.
Okay.
What more can you do?
I think now, after being with you, Dr. Phil, and it's an honor to be here and to hear your advice, I can let it go. If she decides to take this opportunity, and I hope she does, but if she doesn't, I can walk away with a clean slate.
You know, it's like we say in Texas, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them float on their back. You know,
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
That's a Philism. I was waiting for one.
I want to thank Jason and Sarah from Share and all of my guests today. Heather says her mother is choosing to live in a tent on the street.
If I can't find my mom, I talk to a homeless person, and they usually know where she is. Yep, there she is.
She's blamed you.
Her alcoholism, her homelessness, it's all my fault.
New Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.